to make a difference and enough courage to affect change. Fox 13's new 360 reports and new investigative team are just part of a renewed commitment to you.
Part of an ongoing investigation, Fox 13 News now looks into
stories with impact and value.
Our Fox 13 exclusive gives you all sides of this important issue.
Find them on Fox 13 News. Let's connect. Fox 13's Ben Winslow, part of Utah's #1 local news team.
I hope they walk away feeling strong. I hope they walk away feeling empowered. I hope they walk away feeling just a little bit more confident in themselves.
Coming up, learn more about the Elizabeth Smart Foundation's new self-defense training center recently opened at Trolley Square.
Plus, the former Salt Lake County GOP chair is taking back an apology after resigning from a massive sexual harassment scandal. We'll explain why.
And today is the first full day of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine being administered once again after the feds lifted the pause on it. Hear why some people are still leery of getting that shot.
And we're seeing winds picking up across the state. But when will we see the big storm? I'll let you know in my full forecast.
Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13's Live at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, childhood abduction survivor and activist Elizabeth Smart taking a big step to equip other women with the tools they need to protect themselves in a worst-case scenario. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Amy Nay.
And I'm Brian Schnee. Smart recently opened a defense training center at Trolley Square in Salt Lake City, and today she unveiled it to the public.
Fox 13's Diego Romo spoke with Smart about this new facility, and it's a story you'll only see here.
According to the CDC, 1 in 5 women across the U.S. have experienced rape in their lifetime. The Elizabeth Smart Foundation's new self-defense training program is giving women the tools to fight back.
It's about teaching women and girls how to protect themselves. And it's a little bit different than just a series of movements. I mean, it talks about situations and scenarios.
The idea behind Smart Defense came after Elizabeth was sexually assaulted on a Delta flight in February of last year.
She was in this very scary situation, and she felt like she had not done enough to prepare herself for that, and she in turn wanted to prepare everybody else in the community.
The foundations of the class are in mixed martial arts, which Strong and her partner Jason South are experts in.
It is a blend of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai kickboxing, Krav Maga, wrestling, boxing, all of those very, very effective martial arts.
This is a tool that hopefully you can take and you train and you practice it every day so that should you ever find yourself in that situation, which I hope no one ever does, then it is an option for you.
According to data from the FBI, Utah has a significantly higher rape rate than the U.S. as a whole. In 2019, Utah had nearly 57 rapes per 100,000 people, compared to 42.6 per 100,000 nationally. Smart Defense has partnered with the Utah Coalition Against Sexual Assault, the Rape Recovery Center, and others to provide sexual assault education and awareness in addition to this self-defense training.
You're also learning how to recognize red flags and how to set clear boundaries, understanding what enthusiastic consent is, all of these precursors to really truly keeping ourselves safe.
Aside from the hands-on self-defense lessons, Smart says she wants everyone who takes the class to walk away feeling confident and empowered.
I hope they realize how strong they really are. I mean, we had a room full of people today, and every single person in this room is stronger than they think they are.
Smart Defense is open to anyone wanting to learn or improve on their self-defense skills. They teach private and public classes here at Trolley Square every week. You can find more information on the Elizabeth Smart Foundation website. We'll link you over at fox13now.com. In Salt Lake City, Diego Romo, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Now to vaccinating Utah. The state is reporting nearly 17,000 more shots in arms since yesterday's report. 866,000 Utahns are now fully vaccinated.
Meantime, 472 new cases of the virus were reported in Utah today. On average, 5.9% of Utahns tested positive for COVID-19 this past week. 152 Utahns are currently hospitalized with the virus, and a Salt Lake County man's death was reported today. That puts our state's death toll at 2,180.
Some changes on the vaccine front. Federal agencies have lifted their pause on the Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine this weekend.
This comes as the United States nears 32 million confirmed cases. However, as John Lawrence reports, some Americans are still leery about getting a J&J shot.
More than 9 million doses of Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine are ready to be administered in the U.S.
This vaccine's known and potential benefits outweigh its known and potential risks in individuals 18 years of age and older.
This comes 10 days after the CDC and the FDA recommended a pause in distribution of the vaccine over rare blood clots.
This was the necessary steps needed to take to keep the public safe, to figure out what kind of a risk we were dealing with, and then get the best information to people.
Look at this as
Health experts like Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institutes of Health, estimate that between 70 and 85% of the country needs to be immune to the virus, either through vaccination or previous infection, to suppress the spread.
This vaccine is our ticket to ride. This is our ticket to freedom, of returning back to normal life as we knew it before the pandemic. So all of us should want to get vaccinated.
But surveys show a large number of Americans are unmotivated to get the vaccine or no interest in getting vaccinated at all.
We will not be silenced! We will not be silenced!
This week, the Kaiser Family Foundation released a report which estimates vaccine supply may begin to outstrip demand within the next few weeks. John Lawrence, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, health experts say it is essential to get vaccinated as more contagious mutations of the virus take hold in the U.S., stalling our nation's recovery.
Well, Amy, back here in Utah now, the Salt Lake County Health Department teamed up with a Salt Lake City low-income health clinic to get Utahns that speak only Spanish vaccinated. Some members of the Utah's Latino communities have had a hard time getting their COVID shot, whether it's because of the language barrier or simply because they don't have the time to get their shot. This clinic aimed to gain people's trust and to make the process as hassle-free as possible.
The vaccine is safe. Everybody should get vaccinated no matter what, because that decreases the risk of getting reinfected.
This clinic gave people their first COVID shot. People will come back for their second dose on Saturday, May 22nd.
Switching gears to the weather right now. It was warm today, wasn't it? But a whole lot of clouds here in northern Utah. This is a look at a time lapse from our Oquirrh Mountain camera. You can see those clouds kind of taking hold. Some nice warm weather, though. It isn't going to last for long. We know we ride a bit of a roller coaster through these spring weeks here in Utah. Meteorologist Breck Bolton joining us now with more.
Now we talk about this the warm before our next storm, where we have a little bit of a disturbance rolling through portions of northern and central Utah, kicking up the winds, bringing the clouds. We are seeing some spotty showers in some areas, but the biggest focus have been the winds. Starting off the day, big concern, fire weather danger with red flag warnings incorporating most of southern, central, eastern Utah. Now we're upgrading or looking at some additional advisories and warnings that'll be in place, especially as we move until tomorrow. As you can see, high wind warning and wind advisories in effect, especially as we look from west central through southwestern Utah, where again we could see some stronger wind gusts, where the gusts today getting upwards of close to 40 miles per hour. We show you the sustained winds across the state. Outside of the Wasatch Front, it's a blustery day. We've got winds anywhere between 15 to 25 miles per hour. Strong wind gusts, though, you can see at Delta right now at 37 miles per hour. Now, as we look ahead, let's talk about what we're expecting over the next 24 hours, where winds dying off just a little bit heading in the overnight hours, except through central and southwestern Utah. Tomorrow, though, you are seeing those stronger winds. Ahead of a cold front that looks to get here, we'll tell you when that front will hit, what it will bring. We know it's going to bring some rain, but for some snow. And how far will temperatures drop? I'll let you know coming up.
Thank you, Breck. We'll see you in just a few minutes. New tonight at 5, the Salt Lake City Mosquito Abatement District has decided to call off its partnership with the U.S. Air Force to expand mosquito spraying with military aircraft.
Well, the district had teamed up with the Air Force in an effort to save money on abatement efforts, but the partnership had faced backlash for months. From the group Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment, among others, the group said that mosquito spraying was not actually getting rid of mosquitoes and that it was bad for the environment and bad for children's health.
And the primary concern, but not the only concern, is neurotoxicity, including increasing the risk of autism. Utah has one of the highest rates of autism in the nation.
Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment is now calling for the district to pause all spraying from both the air into the ground for 2 years.
An update now on a story that rocked the Salt Lake County Republican Party to its core. Scott Miller, the former GOP chair who resigned after a sexual harassment scandal within the party came to light, is now recanting his resignation. Miller telling our content sharing partners at the Salt Lake Tribune that he's being wrongly accused of standing idly by when unofficial communications director Dave Robinson allegedly bullied and sexually harassed women running for office. Miller says he did not want to apologize and that he was forced to do it. The current state party chair, Derek Brown, declined to comment on this story.
New this hour, the founder of the Draper-based company Meds in Motion is trying to save hundreds of pounds of drugs that were supposed to help treat COVID-19 last year from being destroyed by the feds. Our content sharing partners at the Salt Lake Tribune reports that Dan Richards wants to save the drugs because they can be used to treat malaria. Richards was recently sentenced to 3 years probation earlier this month after illegally importing mislabeled hydroxychloroquine from China to sell to the state for $800,000. It turns out that the drug could not treat COVID-19 after all, and the state got a refund. We'll keep you posted as we learn more.
Still more ahead. See what some people are doing to keep the area where George Floyd was killed safe without the help of police.
A new crew of NASA astronauts arrives at the International Space Station. I'm Christina Coleman with more on the SpaceX flight and why it's making space history.
The most important thing in the Chevy Equinox is not front pedestrian braking. And it's not forward collision alert either. No, the most important thing in the Equinox isn't any of the advanced safety features we've put into it. It's what you put into it. Chevy Safety Assist, standard on every 2021 Chevy Equinox.
Current qualified competitive lessees can get this 2021 Equinox for around $199 a month. See your Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers.
Oh my, with Chase Freedom Unlimited, I earn all this cash back? Oh, I gotta tell everyone. Hey, Rita, you can earn 3% on dining, including takeout.
Bon appetit.
Hey, Kim, you earn 5% on travel purchased through Chase.
Way ahead of you.
Hey, Neil, you can earn 3% at drugstores.
Buddy, I'm right here. Why are you yelling?
Because that's what I do. You're always earning with 5% cash back on travel purchased through Chase. 3% at drugstores, 3% on dining, including takeout, and 1.5% on everything else you buy. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Just into the Fox 13 newsroom, we have learned that Utah County Clerk Auditor Amelia Powers-Gardner has won the special election for Utah County Commissioner. She's the first woman to be elected to the commission. She is replacing Tanner Ainge, who resigned last month to join the Governor's Office of Economic Development. We'll be speaking with Powers-Gardner about her victory tonight, and we'll share some of that interview tonight on Fox 13 News at 9.
In your national news, it's been more than 11 months since George Floyd was killed by former police officer Derek Chauvin in Minneapolis. The intersection where Floyd was murdered has been dubbed George Floyd Square as a testament to his life.
As James Packard with our partners at Newsy reports, members of the community are now looking to patrol this area themselves after they say they've lost faith in the police.
We brought the kids today.
Nearly a year after activists blocked off the intersection where George Floyd died.
I just wanted to see the awakening.
The community that occupies it is trying to prove something.
What it taught us is that, you know, for one, we understood and understood and experienced what a community would look like without policing.
There's no law enforcement patrol here, but that doesn't mean there's no order. Steve Floyd is a member of the Agape movement, a pseudo-community patrol that grew out of the push to keep police away.
What are the backgrounds of the people who make up your movement?
Mostly ex-gang members.
Trying as best they can to keep the peace.
Do you hope that what you're doing can be a model?
We're definitely looking at that.
During protests last summer, Minneapolis cut off police officers from its public schools, ending its contract to put officers in school hallways. The Agape movement sees an opportunity.
We want to be those men that stand in these schools and help protect our kids and yet be behavioral specialists, do all the things that they would bring outside professionals in to do.
This is a testing ground.
Let's build a Mayberry to where it's just nice and easy and people are enjoying themselves.
What's clear is that the trial may be over, but George Floyd Square is just beginning.
From my perspective, I'm a civil engineer, so this can be a traffic circle.
Yes, we've always wanted that.
A new chapter for the community that turned heartbreak and outrage into change.
They wanted to be that type of atmosphere, to appreciate what we got going, not what happened.
James Packard, Newsy, Minneapolis.
All right, there are some new faces aboard the International Space Station.
4 astronauts representing 3 different countries landed safely today, roughly 1 day after liftoff from Cape Canaveral.
Pretty exciting stuff. Fox's Christina Coleman explains how this flight is marking a few firsts for the NASA and SpaceX collaboration.
Hugs and smiles all around the International Space Station Saturday as a new team of astronauts arrives for a 6-month stay.
We're so excited to be here. We're ready to get to work. There's a lot of great science that I know we're going to be doing, and we're just excited to learn and get started.
The 4 crew members from the U.S., Japan, and France were launched into space early Friday morning from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The roughly 24-hour trip went smoothly for the most part, but there was a brief moment of concern as the astronauts were getting ready for bed. Ground control alerted them to a potential collision with a piece of space debris.
We believe the object is farther away than anticipated, lower risk of possible conjunction, but please ensure visors are closed and zippers are closed prior to TCA in approximately 20 seconds.
The crew was told to put on their pressure suits, lower their protective visors, and brace for impact. Luckily, the debris passed without incident.
At this time, we can go to proceed to deconfigure from suited configuration.
The mission is making history on a number of fronts. It's the first time SpaceX has recycled a capsule and rocket from a previous flight to launch astronauts for NASA.
If you have rapid and complete reusability, then that opens up, that is the gateway to the heavens.
And it's the first time since the space shuttle era. 11 people have been aboard the space station at one time, but it won't be that crowded for too long. The Crew 1 astronauts are expected to return to Earth on Wednesday. Christina Coleman, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, turning to weather now, Breck Bolton in the Weather Center tonight. Some calm conditions across the state, but Breck, as you were alluding to a few minutes ago, a change is on the way this week.
We're beginning to see signs of that change, where the winds have been picking up here throughout the afternoon outside of the Wasatch Front, and we're looking at stronger winds for Sunday. Let's just lay it all out there. We've got a cold storm on the way. It gets here tomorrow afternoon into the evening, and it's going to have statewide impact. It seems like it's been a while since we've seen widespread precipitation, but we get that with our next storm, as it will bring rain showers, heavy at times, and even some snow, mainly accumulating snow up in the mountains. And it looks to be fairly impressive, especially as we go into Monday, Tuesday as well. It's been a warm day. Temperatures in the 80s in St. George. We have some high clouds. Winds have been picking up, low humidity. Red flag warnings in place for Washington County and several counties across central and southern Utah. Winds not quite as strong, even though it's been a little breezy here along the Wasatch Front. You get out of the Wasatch Front, yeah, you're experiencing blustery conditions across the state. Now, speaking of the winds, again, several warnings, advisories. We hold on to a red flag warning and incorporating more of eastern Utah. That'll be in effect until tomorrow evening. We'll be looking at winds sustained anywhere between 20 to 30 miles per hour. Where we could see some stronger wind gusts is west central through southwestern Utah. Juab County, Millard County moving further south, and a wind advisory in place as we turn over towards areas such as Hanksville down through Kanab. Wind gusts 55 miles per hour or even stronger expected as we move into tomorrow afternoon. All in preparation of the next storm arriving. Now, we have a weak disturbance rolling through portions of northern and central Utah. It is providing for some brief showers as you move through Utah County or in Provo, down through Spanish Fork, moving off towards the northeast. Most of the focus will be across the mountains with some light showers. Near the border as well, a possibility as we move throughout the rest of the afternoon into the evening. Again, the storm and a little disturbance moving on. It didn't have much of an impact except bringing the winds mainly. This one, a different story. It's going to bring the cold air, it's going to bring the showers, and we get things going come tomorrow evening. Let's time it out looking at the computer models. I move the clock tonight through tomorrow morning. We're seeing partly cloudy skies starting off, mostly cloudy skies across northern Utah. The winds really are howling tomorrow, especially across central and southern Utah. There's the position of the front. I move through the afternoon. We start hitting the evening hours. It sweeps in overnight, Sunday through Monday. You're seeing a mixture of rain and snow, heavy at times. Big focus across northern Utah. Your Monday morning commute will be wet, and those showers continue to track southward throughout the day on Monday. Everyone gets hit at some point, and there we need that moisture. We're going to get that from the storm with lingering showers expected for Tuesday. Tonight, though, it's mostly cloudy skies for northern Utah, partly cloudy skies across the south. Temperatures not too cold. Tomorrow, slightly cooler ahead of the front. We'll be looking at temperatures near 70 degrees in Provo, in the 70s through central Utah. It's just going to be a windy day. We'll have the clouds across northern Utah. You'll have some sunshine in St. George, but you just won't feel great with those winds. And then you get hit with the rain on Monday. Cooler on Tuesday with a slight chance of rain, and then it warms quickly back up. 80s to 90s by Thursday into Friday. Northern Utah, 60s to 50s. We could see some snow showers near the benches as we move into Tuesday morning. Brief showers Tuesday morning, storm begins to move off. High pressure builds in, and then temperatures do climb. So there's your roller coaster ride, but we get the showers that we need for your lawn Monday and Tuesday.
Still ahead tonight at 5. Have you had trouble de-stressing this past year during the pandemic? We have 4 tips that you might want to try.
Plus, black farmers have felt left out of government programs. Why they say the new stimulus money they're getting is just the start of the reform our country needs. We'll be right back.
Let's hear it for the multitaskers, the night shift workers, and small business owners. Let's hear it for all the ways that you show up for the people who count on you. That's your greatness in action. And here at Rocky Mountain Power, it's the inspiration for everything we do. Like WattSmart rebates to help you save energy, tools for managing your budget, and options that power the greatness in all that you do. Learn more at wattsmart.com.
This is the most important, amazingest game ever played in the universe. The pitcher is fierce. Danny Roberts is up at bat. And the crowd goes wild. He just won the game. Let's go! Yes!
We protect the car you drive.
Go get him, Danny.
And the dreams that drive you. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Chevy is America's fastest growing full-line brand, and people are taking it everywhere. Taking Trailblazer outdoors, confidently taking on new places with Equinox, and taking on more with Silverado. Whatever you do, there's a perfect Chevy to take you anywhere. Find your perfect Chevy and get up to 17% of MSRP cash back on select 2021 Chevy SUV models, or get a total value of $5,150 on this 2021 Silverado All-Star Z71. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Better sleep means a better you. That's why Mattress Firm came up with the Rest Assured Promise, featuring the best mattresses from America's best mattress brands. Like the Tempur-Breeze collection, available now, with a $300 instant gift good towards your choice of sleep accessories. Visit with our sleep experts in-store, online, or by phone to find the right bed for you. Only at Mattress Firm, America's #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer.
Welcome back. 100 years ago, black farmers owned about 14% of all land farmed in the United States. Today, that number is around 2%.
The dramatic decline in black farming has forced Congress to take action. Joe St. George looks at the reasoning behind the decrease and what is being done to help these farmers in the future.
I've been rural Mississippi all my life.
Terry Cannon's life is similar to many black farmers in the South.
Here on the farm, we grow stuff like tomatoes, zucchini.
Most of his days have been spent on dirt roads, raising cattle, second nature. Even at 70, when a tree falls down, he doesn't hesitate to take care of it.
We grew basically everything that we ate.
But Terry's story is one that is increasingly going away. Of the 3.4 million farmers in the United States today, only 45,000 are black. According to the USDA, that's down from 1 million black farmers a century ago.
It's a dying generation.
There are lots of reasons as to why. Terry says it's easier to work at an office in the city as opposed to a field, but he says a big reason is that black farmers have felt left out of government programs, with some believing systematic racism has occurred for decades. For instance, here in Mississippi, where Terry lives, 14% of farmers are black, but the nonprofit, nonpartisan research group The Counter found only 1% received any funds from recent USDA assistance programs.
We did not have the knowledge of these programs.
Wow.
So that was the first problem.
Washington is beginning to recognize the injustice that many black farmers have experienced over the years. Tucked away in the massive stimulus bill from earlier this year was a provision to provide black farmers with $5 billion.
That brings joy. I mean, that's uplifting.
And that money, Terry says, may help keep black farming going.
We got Angus cows on a Hereford bull.
Meet Michael Coleman. At 27 years young, he's the future of this farm, and he just might be the future of black farming in the South.
And we're here, we're just not recognized. If I really wanted to make a career out of this, because it's something I love to do.
Michael hopes the $5 billion, which is beginning to be handed out, is just the beginning of reform. He believes the stimulus money will help older black farmers in debt, but more programs need to be created to help young farmers like him get going.
There's probably a kid right now that's living in the inner city, but he wants to farm, but he doesn't have the resources to farm.
As for Terry, he says anything from D.C. helps, stressing that while tending to a farm takes time, equality should move a lot quicker.
It seems like the progress is not being made.
In Piney Woods, Mississippi, I'm Joe St. George.
Much more for you coming up here on our show ahead. A sex therapist excommunicated from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints speaks to Fox 13 why she thinks the church forced her out.
Plus, Japantown may be a small, tucked-away area of Salt Lake City, but there are some huge plans to beautify that part of town. We'll show it to you.
And hear one doctor's show of gratitude for one of the most well-known faces of the COVID-19 pandemic right here in our state. We'll be right back.
If you're shopping for a compact SUV, you're probably considering the usual suspects. But now's the time to consider a Volkswagen Tiguan. Because the Tiguan has a lower maintenance cost than Subaru, Honda, and Toyota. Which is surprising if you don't drive one, but not at all if you do. Now's a smart time to get into a Volkswagen SUV at our Sign Then Drive event. Lease a new Tiguan for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month payment, and 0 due at signing, or get 0% APR financing for 72 months.
How to change the way you pizza. Step 1, grab a delicious Papa Murphy's pizza. Step 2, bake. Step 3, chow down on the deliciousness. Right now, get a large Fiesta chicken pizza. Papa Murphy's.
Life's full of little accidents. And the Hyundai Tucson helps make sure they stay little by alerting you if you drift out of your lane and even gently correcting your steering. Because unlike your favorite shirt, you are irreplaceable. Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like.
Get 0% APR for 60 months on the Tucson or Kona, or get up to $3,500 in total savings. Only at your Utah Hyundai dealer.
At Smith's, keeping food fresher than fresh means being on your A game every hour of every day. Sure, it's more work for us, but it's more fresh for you. And that's why everything at Smith's comes guaranteed fresh, or we'll make it right. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
The final days are here, and that means Ford Truck Month is coming to a close. It's your last chance to get a great deal on Ford Ranger, Ford Super Duty, and the all-new 2021 Ford F-150. So hurry, because this is one show you don't want to miss. Get $6,000 total cash or lease a Ranger for $269 a month, plus get complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards, only at your local Ford stores.
You think you're into your shows now?
Netflix. Xfinity gets you really into your shows.
When one burns for someone who does not feel the same.
That's good stuff.
Tons of shows, movies, and streaming apps searchable by voice. Oh,
always in a rush. All with Flex, included with Xfinity Internet, so your entertainment starts at free. Xfinity, it's a way better way to watch.
Start streaming today with a free Flex 4K streaming box when you switch to Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 12 months. Click, call, or visit a store today.
Get the max out of your tax refund at iMart Express. With 2 pairs starting under $40, you'll spend less on the have-tos and keep more for the want-tos. Our prices won't break the bank. Your tax refund goes further at iMart Express.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight at 5:30. We want to get you up to speed on your first alert forecast. Here's a live look. It's our Salt Lake Tribune camera in downtown Salt Lake City. The streets should pick up a little bit. The Jazz are home tonight. Cloudy outside, but it will look a whole lot different, likely in a day or two here.
We want to bring in meteorologist Breck Bolton for a look at that forecast. Breck, we're expecting a roller coaster, of course, this time of year.
Oh, we are. A good winter storm on its way, fastly approaching here as we move into tomorrow, as winds will be kicking up. But today, boy, it was nice across central and southern Utah to start the day off, but winds howling throughout the afternoon. We've been bringing in the clouds. We've been looking at temperatures warmer than yesterday, but it didn't feel quite as warm. With the clouds in place and again those winds throughout the afternoon, it just didn't feel like we got up into the upper 60s. That's where we currently stand though in Salt Lake City, upper 60s right now. We're at 66 degrees in Ogden, low 60s in Price. We turn towards southeastern Utah, Moab, you're at 73 degrees and 80s in St. George. Now this little disturbance has been pushing through portions of northern Utah. It is producing some showers, not across the south, most of central Utah dry. Utah County, though, a little different story, and then moving towards Juab County. For Santa Quinta, Provo, you might hit some brief rain showers moving up through Orem. But again, once you get to the point of the mountain further northward, there's definitely a void in the showers, and it's not a big concern. So looking at your hour-by-hour forecast, it's mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures, cooling down just a bit. We're in the upper 50s by 10 o'clock. We'll keep temperatures fairly mild and looking at holding on temperatures above normal for tomorrow. Yes, it's the warm before the storm. A big temperature drop with quite a bit of shower activity that we're expecting. We'll explain all the details and the timing of it all in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Breck. In your local news, do you have any old prescription drugs that are filling up your medicine cabinet? Well, today was a chance to get rid of them for the 20th annual National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. The National Guard, Counter Drug Task Force, and the DEA came together in Kearns, among other locations, to take back your unused medications. Now, the day was created in an effort to collect unneeded drugs that are often highly susceptible to misuse, abuse, and theft.
This is important because we want to keep our community safe. We want to give the members in our community a way to get rid of those things that could turn into harmful substances for those who are it's not prescribed for, or maybe it's just sitting around and old and they want to get it out of their house.
Now, if you missed your chance to donate today, don't worry. There are year-round drop-off sites that you can locate on the DEA's website. We can link you over there from fox13now.com.
Staying outside now, volunteers met at Dimple Dell Park in Sandy to clean things up in celebration of Earth Day this past week. People removed debris and trash that is invasive to the plant and wildlife living in the area. The cleanup's organizers say picking up the garbage also helps to remind other visitors to clean up after themselves as well.
It's like with graffiti. If people see graffiti, they're more likely to think it's okay to do the same. So that as the trash is removed, it sends a signal that this is a place to be enjoyed and revered and to be respected as a nature preserve and not to destroy it with carelessness and garbage.
Was taught this as a kid. Leave no trace. This was the 5th annual cleanup at Dimple Dell Park.
One Intermountain doctor expressing gratitude this weekend to state epidemiologist Dr. Angela Dunn. Now, earlier this week, Dr. Dunn announced her plans to leave the state health department to become the head of the Salt Lake County Health Department. Dr. Eddie Stenyam says Dr. Dunn gracefully walked the line between politics and science, adding that Utah has been lucky to have her guidance during the pandemic.
She has been such a constant voice for the state of Utah. She has been such an advocate for science. She has been, such a stable person that we've been able to look to during this time.
Dr. Dunn is expected to begin her new position on June 1st. There's no word yet on who will replace her as the state epidemiologist.
Now to a Fox 13 News exclusive. A local sex therapist excommunicated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints this past week admits that she's shattered by the decision. As a certified therapist, Natasha Helfer publicly opposed several church teachings on sexuality while supporting same-sex marriage and the LGBTQ community. She insists the comments were in line with clinically researched best practices.
The only time I'm critical of the church and its leaders and its doctrine is when I see harm as a mental health professional.
Helfer has appealed the excommunication. She plans to continue her practice in Salt Lake City.
Newly unveiled plans show some big changes coming to one neck of the woods in Salt Lake City, Japantown.
Right now, it's a tucked away area of downtown with only 3 buildings. The original Japantown was destroyed decades ago to make way for the Salt Palace. Those who remember those days say Japantown was vibrant and bustling with all sorts of shops, restaurants, pool halls, banks, and businesses. The Japanese Community Preservation Committee sent renderings to Salt Lake City with what the community would look like in that area. Now, they hope to create a beautiful spot for the Japanese community to gather once again.
Eventually, it'll be a very recognizable place.
Yeah, we want it to be a place, a welcoming place for the entire state, and I think it will be.
The 3-phase plan includes cherry blossom trees, pedestrian paths, sculptures, historical markers, and Japanese design elements. The committee does not know yet the timeline for its completion.
Turning to some health news now, according to the American Psychological Association, nearly 8 in 10 adults say that the pandemic is a significant source of stress in their lives.
So how do you go about getting as much rest as you can to take care of your mental health? Well, Shagun Oduoluwa talked with one author about her tips to get the most out of your downtime.
We all experience stress, but leaving it unchecked can lead to burnout and depression.
Once you say, okay, I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, now you got to figure out how do you release that, right?
And Dr. Shavelta Smith knows what it's like to have a lot of stress to release.
I'm OBGYN and a COVID-19 frontline worker, also a mom and a wife of almost 29 years.
She's also a motivational speaker, pastor, and author of the new book, Let's Rest, an ode to COVID-19 frontliners and medical professionals, and a tool for them to help cope with stress.
And this is a resource for everybody right now.
Because no matter what your profession or age, we all can use a little rest right now.
Let's Rest, the acronym stands for Release Emotion and Stress Together.
So first, you release.
I think release in the sense of letting go. We tell people all the time, girl, you need to let that go. But the reality is when we've gone through something, you need some way to be able to release it.
Because Dr. Shavelta says we're so used to keeping everything bottled up, and slowly it tears away at us.
So if I want to get over something, I actually say, I'm going to release this. I'm letting this go.
She says using a technique like this allows your mind to take what it hears and create new neural pathways within your brain.
It rewires and it reprograms our brain so that we can think differently, our attitudes can be different, our behavior will be different, and ultimately our results will be different.
Next, it's all about emotion.
How am I feeling right this moment? And then let me sit back and say, how am I feeling overall in my life?
Because like our car's gas tank, if you don't constantly check it, you might run out of fuel.
And it's the same thing with our emotions.
Checking in daily allows you to know when your emotions are getting depleted and you need to take on less instead of more.
You're going to run out of gas or fuel, whatever you need to, recharge yourself, renew yourself.
And next, dealing with stress.
How are you reducing that stress?
And Dr. Shavelta has some pandemic prompts that help you figure that out.
So I know we all remember when toilet paper really became a hot commodity. And the journal prompt beside it is, what do you need? But it's finding that it's unavailable.
And finding out what's missing can help you figure out what you actually need. finally, we've got to come together.
Who are you talking to? Are you communicating your feelings?
Because a feeling of community is important, even if you're just reminded that they are there.
I'm really big on making sure that we are talking to one another.
Whether that's a coworker, a friend, or a mental health specialist, she says it's important not to do this alone.
That's a part of the team and the community that you build to help you through these challenging times.
For Fox 13 News Utah, I'm Shaguna Duolowu with The List.
And coming up next, the Academy Awards are this weekend. Hear how much the pandemic and streaming services made on this year's Oscars.
And later in sports, both RSL and the Jazz facing teams from Minnesota tonight. One at home, the other on the road. Hear from both. While Weber State began their playoff run Saturday, they're used to close finishes this season. Get ready for another one. Back in a bit.
When it comes to your financial health, just a few small steps can make a real difference.
Learn, save, and spend with guidance from Chase. Confidence feels good. Chase, make more of what's yours.
How we doing?
Fabulous.
I wonder how the firm's doing without its fearless leader. You sure you want to leave that all behind?
Stay restless with the icon that does the same. The RX, crafted by Lexus.
Lease the 2021 RX 350 for $439 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Welcome back. In entertainment news this weekend, the Oscars are tomorrow night.
Always a fun presentation. Streaming services have changed the way we get to experience new films during the pandemic and beyond at this point. As Casey Mendoza from our content partners at Newsy reports, it also has made a big impact on this year's award show.
All together, yeah.
The loss of movie theaters over the past year has pushed Oscar-nominated films to the small screen. This year, the Academy for Motion Picture Arts and Sciences allowed films to skip theatrical screenings. But are viewers actually watching them from home?
There is more streaming this year. People are staying at home, as well as the fact that the Oscars are later this year, so they've had a little bit more time to watch more of them.
Fandango polled more than 1,400 people planning to watch this year's Academy Awards, and more than 70% said they've watched more Oscar-nominated films this year than in the past.
Over 90% of the people we polled said that they have watched one or more of the nominated films, which is a huge statistic.
Streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, and HBO Max make it a lot easier. And with 35 nominations for 16 films, the most out of any studio or distributor, Netflix is a big winner already.
Yeah, you really think there's going to be a big audience?
But it's not all due to the pandemic. Netflix's lineup of Oscar-nominated films has surged in the past couple years. The platform garnered its first nomination in 2014 for The Square, and then just 6 years later, Netflix dominated the 2020 Academy Awards with 24 nominations. It was the first time the company earned more than other studios or distributors.
Tell him about the finale.
Despite the success of Netflix and streaming films at home, audiences are excited to go back to movie theaters. Over 80% of the people polled by Fandango said they miss seeing nominated films on the big screen. One person even told AP, "The rising dominance of the streaming services has taken the gloss off the Oscars for me. You just don't get the same warm, fuzzy feeling from when you recognize a movie from the silver screen."
As the time has gone on over the past year, I think we all miss that feeling. I just think, that's the way so many of these movies were meant to be seen.
Casey Mendoza, Newsy, Chicago.
Times are trying for so many of us right now. Put yourself in the shoes of someone who doesn't have a permanent home, perhaps a child in foster care.
Some have been in there for months, others for years, hoping to find a loving family. Dan Grossman introduces us to a 7-year-old and his father who found a way to try to help those kids climb out of the system.
Ooh, can I have this one?
We don't need to say much
Okay, so if I say something, you can't hear anything.
for you to understand that very few moments with Sam Baker
Can you two move?
could be considered boring.
A lot of energy. He's very busy. He's non-stop energy.
Can I have something to eat?
If Dad truly knows best, maybe it's why he named his eldest son Sam Adventure Baker. Yes, that's his actual middle name.
Having boys, so we have 3 boys in our house.
Can I whisper?
Best time of my life.
I want to whisper something in your ear.
Or maybe it's because Sam truly is one of the best at his sport at the ripe age of 7.
It goes from 5'0" to the hardest climb in the world is like 5'15". So it's like 5'10" is really where expert begins. And so he's climbing right about there.
What?
In a sport that heralds courage, Sam has little to overcome.
Or yellows?
Looks pretty hard.
When you are climbing, do you get scared of anything? What are your fears?
Spiders, stuff like that.
Not heights or anything like that.
No, I'm not afraid of anything that's rock climbing. No fear.
He's one of the youngest known climbers to summit at least 3 peaks in the country.
He loves it when people watch his film and come up and say, you know, Sam, I don't know how you do it. I'd just be so afraid. And he loves telling me, he says, hey, that's easy. All you got to do is do the thing that you're afraid of, and you'll overcome your fear.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
He's also working to become the youngest to do a 4th El Capitan in Yosemite National Park.
It's going to be hard and very tall.
It's kind of the mecca of the whole climbing world. And we started talking a lot about it, and Sam started getting interested in, could I climb that someday?
It's 49% easy.
But this story
Pretty easy for me.
isn't just about the impending 3,000-foot climb, or the 4 to 6 days sleeping on the side of a vertical cliff, or even the prestige.
I just like rock climbing with my dad the most.
It's about the thousands of kids who don't get to form these memories.
We were on a ledge once talking, and I shared with Sam that not every kid has a mom and dad, and that blew his mind. And it was out of that we decided, hey, what if we could raise money for the 100,000 kids in the U.S. that are stuck in the foster system, that are eligible for being adopted into a family.
The duo plans to film their endeavors like they have so many times before, using charity and proceeds to help kids who hope to have moments similar to those these two have cherished for years.
The greatest life is when you can serve others. You know, it's like serving our kids, serving other people in our life. And I'm trying to instill that into Sam, like, hey, it's not just about you. You know, as you can do things for other people, it's what fills you with life and joy. Doing good, buddy.
As Sam works toward his most daunting ascent yet,
Yep, you got it, reach.
you can bet the strong foothold he's been able to form will allow him to face it
Ready, set, woohoo!
with nothing but infectious joy. I'm Dan Grossman.
Well, as you turn to weather, we're looking outside right now. Clouds in place, not seeing much shower activity, though we saw a little bit of rain turning towards the Provo area, where we do have some showers through that region a little further southward. We had some raindrops on the camera, but we've got clouds pretty much statewide as I show you a view in southern Utah, Zion National Park. Yeah, it looks like ominous clouds, not producing rain right now, but the impact of these clouds due to a disturbance that's been moving through the state, and we're seeing that influence and impact here even towards extreme northern Utah up through Cache Valley. The clouds around as temperatures above normal. It just didn't feel like it, as right now we're in the upper 60s in Salt Lake City, mid 60s in Ogden, Provo as well. Winds along the Wasatch Front, not too bad. Yes, it's getting a little breezy here throughout the afternoon, but you get out of the Wasatch Front, some strong winds where we do have wind concerns in effect through central and southern Utah. And all these winds lining up and increasing due to a storm that's on its way. It gets here come tomorrow night. With this storm, this is what we're looking at, and the confidence in the forecast for this storm. Changing temperatures, we know it will do that. Now, it's not throwing us back into winter, but we're going to see almost a 20-degree swing going from Sunday into Monday. Winds, this will be a big issue. Across central and southern Utah, we have wind advisories, wind warnings, and of course, red flag concerns where we look at the fire situation because it's so dry, and we enhance that with those winds picking up. We will see statewide precipitation. For some areas, it could be heavy. The type of precipitation, we know for the majority we see rain, but there are some spots potentially as snow levels do drop that might see some snow showers. Definitely the Wasatch back and maybe getting close towards the benches. Now, yes, with the watches and warnings in place, it's all associated with the winds. High wind warning in effect as we look towards tomorrow into tomorrow evening, west central through southwestern Utah. Most of the south under red flag warnings, which could potentially be updated for tomorrow. Now, I mentioned we have this disturbance producing the clouds and even a few showers as you look south of Provo, going through Spanish Fork, moving up Spanish Fork Canyon. And you kind of see that little zone there with that line and band of showers that moves further eastward, could potentially impact areas as you move through Duchesne County, moving further northward up through southwest Wyoming. But most of the Wasatch Front, we're not seeing that impact. We're holding on to the clouds. That disturbance moves on. We get ready for our next cold front. This one definitely will be stronger and swinging through, bringing in that cold air, changing things up. And as I mentioned, the precipitation, yes, a lot of it's going to be rain. It hits tomorrow night. You can see it lining up, looking at the timing of it all. Sunday, 6 p.m., we're not seeing much impact across the state until overnight, Sunday into Monday. That means for your Monday morning commute, especially as you look along the Wasatch Front, we're going to see that shower threat increase and then moving through the state as we move Monday afternoon. Tonight, though, we're going to be looking at mostly cloudy skies, also mostly cloudy conditions with those winds tomorrow. A little bit of sunshine across the south. Temperatures slightly cooler than yesterday, but still afternoon highs above normal. We get hit with the rain in St. George on Monday. Some scattered showers Tuesday, then it clears out nicely. We're seeing sunny skies and temperatures quickly rebounding and getting hot by next week, Friday and Saturday. Northern Utah, Monday and Tuesday, it's the rain, kind of a mixture of rain and snow Tuesday morning, just in the morning, and then it clears out nicely. Looks like we'll see some sunshine by the end of the week and temperatures close to 80 degrees.
Weber State won all 5 games during the regular season, but 4 of those were too close for any comfort. Today's first-round playoff opponent, Southern Illinois, won 5 of their 8, but 4 of the 5 came against ranked opponents. How would the Wildcats respond today in their playoff test against the Salukis? Let's go to Stewart Stadium and find out, where there was plenty of first-half offense. Chris Jackson across to start, and then the Wildcats go reverse right back to the quarterback. Bronson Barron unloads to a wide-open Justin Malone. 14-0 Purple just like that. Make it 21-7 after a short Daniel Wright plunge. The Salukis did end the half with 10 straight. Elliot Romero, it was 21-17 halfway through. Then in the third, catching Weber napping with a fake field goal. The kicker, Nico Galdani, finding Cole Stewart, but Weber crossing pylon again come the fourth. The diaper dandy out of American Fork, Barron keeping. Then a stop here, wins it on 4th down. Here comes the blitz, but Stowe Labanowitz gets it off and in time, and it's caught. Branson Combs. But remember, the Cats won on a Hail Mary earlier a few weeks ago. They would need another one, but Barron doesn't even have a shot to launch it for the end zone. The sack ends it. Disappointing finish for a team that made it to these semis just a season ago. Real Salt Lake's new season begins minutes from now. Tough first draw, though, at Minnesota United FC, a club that historically has had RSL's number. Then again, the Claret and Cobalt have not dropped a season opener since 2010.
I mean, for us as a team, the most important thing is to have a good start in the season, and then just to build our confidence, and then go step by step. And Minnesota is a great opponent to prove everything.
We're expecting a tough game, but we had some time to prepare for it, and we're very looking forward to it, and eager to get the season going.
The Jazz also facing Minnesota tonight. Utah has only 15 setbacks all season, but one of those was the day after Christmas to the T-Wolves. Since that time, the Jazz have managed to rise to the top of the league. In fact, a win tonight at the Viv would make them the first team to clinch a playoff spot.
I think we just focused on the main goal, the process, and, us getting better every day. I think we kind of lost ourselves into that, and that's what's making this season so good for us, and the reason why we win the games, because we just, losing ourselves and, trying to get better and win these games.
And Tony Finau and Cam Champ begin the day in a tie for the Zurich Classic lead. I'm certainly not sticking my feet in the water after seeing that. Wyndham Clark does, though, and nearly holds it right over the swamp in New Orleans. Very nice. They were still chasing the Gators away. As for Finau, watch this chip right here at number 1. What finesse. Followed by another birdie, this one for the lead at 10. He and Champ are now tied for second at 18 under, just one stroke off Luis Oosthuizen and Charles Schwartzel. We'll be right back.
Join the thousands of customers who've enjoyed over 80 years of top RV supplies and service at State Trailer. See better with VisionWorks camera, or straighten up with Stromberg leveling blocks. Prevent RV theft with Trimax wheel locks, or grab a Camco portable RV holding tank. Don't shop online. Know what you're getting. Go with the pros at State Trailer and RV Supply.
We're State Trailer Supply.
Trust isn't built in a day. It's built over time. The early hours and the late nights. It's built by doing the work and pushing the limits every day. Because the promises we make are the promises we were built to keep.
During Ram Truck Month, hurry in and get 0% financing for 72 months, plus $2,500 total bonus cash on select 2021 Ram 1500 models in dealer stock.
At Smith's, keeping food fresher than fresh means being on your A game every hour of every day. Sure, it's more work for us, but it's more fresh for you. And that's why everything at Smith's comes guaranteed fresh, or we'll make it right. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
Oh my, with Chase Freedom Unlimited, I earn all this cash back? Oh, I gotta tell everyone. Hey, Rita, you can earn 3% on dining, including takeout.
Bon appetit.
Hey, Kim, you earn 5% on travel purchase through Chase.
Way ahead of you.
Hey, Neil, you can earn 3% at drugstores.
Buddy, I'm right here. Why are you yelling?
Because that's what I do. You're always earning with 5% cash back on travel purchase through Chase. 3% at drugstores, 3% on dining, including takeout, and 1.5% on everything else you buy. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Finally on Fox 13, a 250-year-old bottle of whiskey is set to be auctioned. Skinner Auctioneer says this bourbon is the oldest whiskey in existence. The company believes the bottle was originally a gift that's been safeguarded for generations. Scientists from the University of Georgia determined the whiskey was likely bottled between 1763 and 1803. The bourbon is set to be auctioned at the end of June for $20,000 to $40,000.
Wow.
Are you drinking that, though?
You keep it on display.
I don't think so.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us for our Live at 5.
We'll see you tonight at 9 o'clock. Have a good night.
Isn't it great how swinging through Culver's drive-thru marks